Yo, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is XD. Glad to have you here. So when you listen to a lot of music that we all listening to on radio and online on streaming services and things like that, one thing that you'll notice that a lot of the mixing of the track has is that it prioritizes important sounds and not everything is upfront, which is a mistake that a lot of us producers make, especially when you're starting out in your music production journey. You always want everything to be upfront, and then you don't understand why your whole mix is not sounding well, everything is not balanced. But in this video, I'm going to show you how you can balance everything, which is something that I do to all my beats, so that you can also follow along and make sure that you have the same sound that the pros have, so that your mixes can sound much more clear and much more intentional, so that not every sound is just super loud, but you highlight the important sounds in your track. So let's go. So I have a beat that I have here, which is an Afro beat. Well, I cannot call it an Afro beat, which is an Afro house beat. It's an Afro house beat. So I'm gonna play it for you so you hear how it sounds. And as you can see right here on the left side, all the volumes are on default. So maybe there's a little bit of volume difference in the plugins themselves, but it's not really too much. Most of them are by default. I didn't really change them much. But as you can see, the volumes are all set right here. So just take a listen to this track. So it's a really nice track. I like the production that I did here. It sounds really good. I like the idea of the track and it's sounding great, but everything sounds too forward. Everything is pushed to forward. Everything is playing at the same loudness. But you let me know when you heard this track, how it sounded for you. Did it sound fine or did it sound off? I'm sure you could hear problems amongst many problems I'm sure this beat has. But the one problem here is the balancing of everything that I noticed. Also, another problem is definitely the output, because you can see here it was going like around 9.8 dB. That was the peak level. So this is super loud because everything is just blasting, everything is mad loud. So the first thing I would do right here is I would raise the output of my speakers, right? I've spoken about this in another video, so I would raise that. So right now you can see my level is right here. So it's around right here. So I'm just going to go up to 50% on my output level for my speakers. So that's one thing that I like to do. So I raise it up. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to select everything and drop it down so that we're not getting we're not clipping, we're not going over 0 dB. So I'm just going to drop this down, maybe halfway like this, and then I'm going to play it back. So you can see now we're at around 1 dB, right? So I'm just going to drop it down a little bit more like this. So that's a bit better. I'm just going to raise it up a little bit. So you can see here it says volume minus 11 dB. And maybe a little bit more up. Okay, now that's going overboard. I'm just going to drop all of them down. Yeah, so it's fine right here, right? So I'm sure that the sound as I'm recording it through the computer has probably gotten low for you guys, but right now you can turn up the level of your speakers that you have as well. So, you know, just turn up the volume. If you're watching on your phone, turn the volume of your phone up. If you're listening on any speakers, turn them up just a little bit, you know, not too much. But that's what I did with my speakers. So that's what I do. I just set the environment of loudness first so that I'm not driving the sounds too much. So now what I do next is I start with my the hierarchy of sounds that I like to start with. I usually start with my kick. So this is my kick. This is the sound that I want to be the loudest. So I just solo it and then I can play it alone. So it sounds really good because this is going to be the loudest thing. So that's why I started with it. So everything else is going to go underneath. So the next sound that I'm going to get into right now is going to be the percussion sounds, right? So the percussion sounds are these sounds that are below it. So I've got 2 Afro percussion sounds. So I'm just going to solo the other one and just add it to this sound. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And then I'm going to turn on the next one. Okay, that is too loud. I'm going to drop it down. That's sounding great. And the next sound is going to be my snare, because as you know, after a kick, it's going to be a snare or a clap. So I'm going to, jump into the snare. Although in this instance, I just played around with the percussion, because when it comes to Afro house music, percussion is more important than the snare, because the snare is only a little bit here and there. We don't use it so much. So I want my snare to be really punchy. So I'm just going to raise it up a little bit more. Nice. Now I can move on to these hats. So I'm just going to drop these. I want them to be a little bit, I don't want them to come in too much because it's a very bright sound. So I want it to just be a little bit in the back. Just like that. That sounds really good. Now, when I can look at all my other sounds, I just follow the same method. So I'm going to add this percussion sound here. I like the level of this tom sound here. And then the next thing I'm also going to do, let me just raise this up so that it is around in the same area with the other drums. The next sound I'm going to go to is this vocal sound here. And all these drums and this vocal sound, you can find them in the link down below. These are all my sound kits, and you can find them in my drum kits. So just check the link that's down below so you can view all these sounds that I use to make my music. So this is a vocal sound. I'm just also going to make sure it plays. So that's definitely too loud. I'm going to drop it down. I like where it's playing right now. It's at a really nice level. I'm going to keep it there. It's just supposed to pop in and out. It's not supposed to be in your face like that. And then the next thing I'm going to go to is my bass, because this is a sound that I want to be really a little bit closer to the drums. Like I want it to be close to the drums, not too up front, but really powerful. So I'm going to add it in. I'm just going to raise it a little bit. So this might be the one sound I might want to add an effect to. I want to see if I add a bit crusher, what's going to happen. Okay, that's sounding great. Let's see if I can turn up the drive to 6. Okay, that sounds great. So let me turn it down a tad. I think it just added a lot more volume to it. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to add this kalimba. So I just raised the kalimba a little bit more, and now we can go to this pad sound. Okay, it's not a pad sound. It's this pop sound that's popping right there. So for me, this is an important sound because I really like the pace that it's adding to the track, the way it's going like that. And funny thing, you can see the notes right there. You can see that it's just one single note, right? That's just playing all the way. It's just a side note. So I can explain, because, you might be seeing that and you're wondering, how the hell is it playing, like dots like that dotted vibe. So what I did, I added a tremolo right here, and I just created my own sidechain. You can see it's saying XDizzle sidechain right there. So if I switch off this tremolo, it sounds like this. That's some production magic for you right there, bro. So that's what I did. If you guys might want to see how I did this, like an in-depth tutorial about it, I can definitely make it. Let me know down in the comments. But that's what I just did. I just wanted to explain that real quick. So this is one of the sounds that I really like, because I like how I designed the sound. It sounds really good in this track. And then the next thing, we've got these Eastern hammers. So this is a melody, so I'm just going to turn it down. So it's just supposed to add some melodic element to the track without doing too much. So I just placed it, nice behind everything else. So that is just coming in nicely here. And then the last sound will probably be the pad now. So I'm just going to select this section here, and which is this crystals and voice. That is definitely too loud. I'm going to turn it down maybe like halfway, because we want our pads to just be atmospheric, so that, it's there, but it's just in the background. It's not too loud. Beautiful. This track is sounding amazing. Now, I feel like this has been super easy. Anyone can do this. Even if you're a beginner, you can apply this method and your beats will sound much better. And then after this, that's when you now need to worry about the loudness, which is going to be the mastering. That's where we worry about loudness. So that's why I turned everything down so that everything is not super loud and it's not, the loudness, you get it from your speakers. That's why I asked you to turn up, and you saw me turning up my speakers. That's where you're going to get the loudness. So you're not worried about the loudness in the box, like in your computer, in your production, but you're only worried about it in your output. Then later on, you can start to work on your mastering to make sure that the track is all the way as loud as you want it to. Now you add compression and limiters and things like that. But that's been the video. If you found this helpful and useful, make sure to drop this video a like and subscribe if you're new. If you want anything that I use to make my beats, check the links that are down below under the video in the description and in the pinned comment. I'm gonna check y'all guys out in another video. I'm X and I'm out. Peace.